baby. Hey, Sugar Wugas. You are watching Everything Mama See TV, and this is, oh yes, Mama Can Throw Down, honey. Yes, and we made it to episode 4. Barely. I mean, I could barely find food. I couldn't even find chicken. It took me a week to do this video because I had to wait for food. But it's here. Don't turn that channel, baby. You heard what I said now.
Don't turn that channel.
And I want y'all to please watch it to the end. That's how it really counts. Hello.
Hey, baby, this one's for you. Everything no one has told you. Mama trying to love. It's you. I see you. I'm giving you a hug. Make you some sugar. 'Cause you've been so loyal. You're the true. That's why I'm singing that song with you. Singing with you. Mama trying to sugar. Thank you. Sugar was from Mama trying to sugar. Been so loyal to me for many years, yeah. From Mama Chocolate Sugar.
Everything. Mama.
See.
And she say everything. I mean, everything.
So the absolute best meal I've ever tasted in my life was my Grandma Jessie's rice and chicken. I mean, it was so delicious. So simple, but so delicious. I've tried this recipe probably 100 times, and I'm sure I still don't have it like she has it. When I tell y'all, the whole block would smell this food. When I would get off the bus, I would smell it getting off the bus from school. When I would come home from work, I'd be like, oh, Grandma made some rice and chicken. We had the honor and the privilege of living right next to my grandma and my grandpa. So whenever she would make this dish, we were like, yes. So this recipe is going to be dedicated to our great and late Grandma Jessie. There's also something for my Paw Paw. Yes, he's very special as well. Anointed, preaching, teaching preacher. He is an awesome man of God. He was a great singer, recording artist, and I have something special for him. His very favorite thing I knew growing up was Chip Ahoy cookies. So y'all wait to the end, and I'm gonna show y'all what I'm gonna do for Paw Paw. All right, let's go to the refrigerator and pull out everything that we need. So I guess I'll share a couple of stories as we go through this recipe about my grandma and my Paw Paw. Let's start with grandma. So she was everything, y'all. Sassy, you know that's where I got it from, me and my mama. Sassy, saved, sanctified, and full with the Holy Ghost. She had class, always wore heels. She was the most giving person I know. Growing up, my grandma had her own thrift store, and I will remember there was also a paper route she had. So she would pick up me, my sister, our cousins, my aunt Cornelia, and we would have to do the paper routes every summer, early in the morning, pass out papers, because grandma was one of those kind of women that she had to be doing something, you know. But yeah, there will be times where we will be driving after doing our, you know, long paper route, ready to go home, and she'll see somebody, a homeless person or someone looks, you know, dirty, or, you know, anybody in need. She would pull over, y'all, in the middle of the street, pull them over, and then put them in the car with us. We'd be like, what's that movie, Family That Pray? That's a true story with us. Like, the family that prayed together when Tahaji, her mother had like a little diner or something, and then this homeless guy would come in.
Who later on, he was rich, but so you be very careful how you treat people, because you could be entertaining an angel.
But yeah, she would do the exact same thing. You know, when she made them take, you know, mother made her take them to the back of the store and give them a bath and all that stuff. That's literally how my Grandma Jessie was. So that's where I get it from. My heart of generosity, I just can't help it. I got the can't help it when it comes to giving, and every time I say, nope, I'm not doing it no more, I find myself doing it, because I got that from my Grandma Jessie. She was everything, y'all. I'll never forget, there was a time we were all on the hilltop, whoop, whoop, whoop. Anybody out there know the hilltop? Go ahead and say hilltop in my comments. We lived next to our grandma and grandpa pretty much all of our lives, and it was a blessing. It was always a blessing. There was only one time when I was like, oh, I'll tell you about that later. But my grandma, every weekend, all of our cousins would come over on the weekend. So it'd be so funny, because through the week, me and my sister, we would have friends on the hill that we would kick it with throughout the week. But then when the weekend came, our cousins there, we would always be in fight with everybody on the block. It's so funny. As soon as they go home on Friday or Sunday, then we back friends with all those people. It was so funny. My grandma raised us that way, like, and my mom. I guess that's where my mom got it from. Like, you don't have no best friends if you're not best friends with your family. So that's something y'all should be. Mom gonna teach that to y'all. You know, your best friend should be your family first, brother or sister. If you can't get along or you don't get along with your brother and sister, then you should not be calling yourself having a best friend. Are you zoomed in, baby? This is a serious moment. Did you zoom into this face? If you and your brother are not friends or best friends, then you, don't deserve a best friend. Your best friend is your family. We would always get together every Saturday, and I guess I could throw my Paw Paw in here on this part. He used to always collect bicycles. I'm pretty sure he probably had 15 bicycles in the front yard. He would collect them just so all his grandkids could ride bikes every weekend. Yes, that's what my Paw Paw did for us. Summer was always banging on the hill. Always, I miss those times. We would always do everything together. And if we did have some outside friends, it was because they were family to us. You know, we didn't really need nobody else because it was 100 of us. First, I think we're going to start with the chicken because that takes some time. We're definitely going to brown the chicken. Remember, brown food is good food. And then we'll get right back. And I'll sort of break down what we're going to use for everything. I think I'm going to throw something else in here. I'll surprise you guys a little later. So stay tuned. All right, Sugar Wugas, it's recipe time. All right, so we're going to need some chicken. I use chicken breasts and thighs. I did marinate the chicken in this 2-minute marinade of garlic and herb, and I also use my Lipton onion dip. For this recipe, you're definitely going to use 2.5 cups of rice. I use some avocado oil spray and my sweet Vidalia onion. I use about 5 or 6 boxes of chicken broth unsalted. I also use half can of both cream of mushroom and cream of chicken. I use some minced garlic and some lightly dried parsley, and I'm loving leeks right now. Definitely using leeks. Cannot be Grandma Jessie's rice and chicken without the cubes of bouillon cube, and I also use a modern twist, Minds and Nature's seasoning. All right, guys, we're going to start with cutting up everything we need for our rice and chicken. And what I'm going to do, I don't know if my grandma added this to her recipe, but this is how I put my little twist to it. You know, as you learn or as you get your family recipes, you can go ahead and make it your own so that you can pass it down to your children. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to add an onion to this dish, and I'm also going to add a leek. For those who don't know what a leek is, it's sort of like an onion. It comes like that. What I did was split it down the middle here because the leeks grow under the ground, so it's very, very sandy. So you're going to want to cut it in half. And this part opens up here and it could collect a lot of sand. So I ran this through the water to make sure I got all the sand out, all right? I think I'm going to cut this in half again. Yeah, I am. So yeah, we were talking about being on the hill every weekend, and I'll never forget there was a time all the cousins were, I think it was all the boys if I'm not mistaken. So it was Parnell, Courtney, Weedy, Matthew, Packy, Justin, everybody, all the boys. Maybe there was girls.
I just know my big behind wasn't doing it.
Grandma, I bet you can't run faster than us. I don't know if it was Grandma said I can run faster than y'all, or they started the whole thing. But they were like, yeah, we can. I bet you can't run faster than us. And Grandma's like, yes, I can. And I'm talking about this is Grandma in her wiser years. And I'll never forget this day because I was watching on the sideline because I was not about to run. Although my behind could run when I need to run. But I'll never forget the day because she had on a blue jean skirt. It was long all the way to the ankles. Grandma was always wearing a skirt to the ankles, honey. Sanctified. Church of God of Christ. Sanctified. Do you hear me? Skirt all the way down to the ankles. Blue jean skirt, and I'll never forget this day. And when I tell y'all Grandma got in the middle of them, all the boys, I remember, it was probably like 10 or 12 of them. People on the block, I'm pretty sure other people joined in for the block. And Grandma put up that skirt. And I mean, she was gone. She passed up all of them. That's that charity. We have so many wonderful memories. So I'm going to continue. I think that's more than enough. I'll do a little bit more. This here is going to saute. It's going to be so tender, transparent. It's going to be a lovely onion taste to it. And it's just something a little different. That's all. So there's that. I'm going to go ahead and pour this in my bowl. And then I'm going to go ahead and get the onion here. And as you guys can see, I got my garbage bowl right here. Let me think of some other stories. So let me see. Let's go to Paw Paw's. What else did we do with Paw Paw? We would go to, what was the Midway? Is it Midway Airport Bay? That's the name of it, right? He would take us to the Midway Airport, and he would know exactly where to park so that when we were in the car, we would see the airplane as if it was flying right to us. I would never forget. It would be like, you know, and those memories you will never ever forget. There was also a White Castle there, which was one of their favorite restaurants. And when I say they, I mean both of them. They would have dates there. It'd be so funny. I'm sure some of you guys from Joliet will be able to remember or can know the times where Papa and Grandma would be sitting there after service eating White Castles, which is so funny because every year the church, Nation Church of God in Christ, whoop, 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 repping my home church, they would give our Papa appreciation service. And for many, many years, everything was the same. He would get appreciation service, gifts, we would sing. He would get his little envelope, and he would take us all out to family table. Shout out to local Joliet people family table. We go way back with family table, and he would take everybody. So whoever came with us, whether it be family or friends, he would pay for their food. Until one year, y'all. Until one year, he was like, one thing about Papa, he was tight with his money. He did not play with his money. Like, he did not play when it came to his money, but this was the only time of the year when we knew that he would be like, okay, he'll be a little looser with the money because of appreciation. You know, he got his little appreciation money, and he would take all the family out to dinner. But this one year, he was like, y'all done. I think I was older then now. I think I was working at this time. And it was so funny, he just pulled off and left the church, and everybody was wondering where he was at. So everybody jumped in their cars and they ran after him, y'all. We going up, him and Grandma on their way out to dinner. He was forgetting all about us on purpose. I think he was laughing too. I think he did it on purpose. And the whole family was riding up the street trying to search and look for where Papa was, and we found him, y'all. He went to White Castle. He didn't feel like going to family table that year, and he dissed us. We was like, oh, that ain't right. I think he eventually gave us money just to get White Castle. Just to get White Castle, but family table was done. After that year, we were done with the whole treating everybody at family table, because I guess we were all older at that time. So that's just another story with Paw Paw. But I'm going to continue to cut. I'm just getting onions everywhere. I'm going to continue to cut this, and then I'll get right back with you guys, okay? So stay tuned. Don't go nowhere, all right? You heard what I said. Don't go nowhere. All right, guys, let's get this recipe started. So first, we're going to start with the chicken. And, of course, you saw in the ingredients, I used both thighs, and I did use breasts. So Grandma would probably use all different types of meat. I'm going to do the thigh because it's so flavorful. You can use canola oil here or fresh oil if you want, but I'm going to use this oil that I had already. I made some smothered potatoes for breakfast the other day, and I left the, I kept the oil. So we're going to do, put this in here skin side down. Can you see inside the pan, babe? We're going to put it in skin side down. And if you don't hear that, you're not doing it right. You want to hear the sizzle. We're going to put this breast in here too. And we're just trying to get color. That's all we're trying to do. We're not going to cook it all the way through right now. It's going to be in the pot with the chicken broth later. Right now we're just trying to get some color in this meat and also flavor this canola oil. All right, so we're going to wait until this gets some color, and then we'll be back, okay? Brown food is good food. I told you guys that. So we're going to turn it on the other side and get the other side brown, and then we're going to continue with the rest here, and then we'll be done with the chicken. We're going to take the chicken out of the pan, put it aside, and then we're going to go ahead and saute these here leeks and sweet Vidalia onions, okay? All right, so you guys stay tuned. We'll be back shortly. All right, everybody. So cameraman, my buka is taking a little bit of a break. So this is what the chicken should look like. So of course this chicken is not done. Don't you bite into that. But I wanted to give it some golden brown color. Remember, brown food is good food. So I'm working on the next batch as we speak. Before I cook these onions and the leeks, I'm gonna drain this oil because I did use that onion soup mix in my marinade. That was one of the things I marinate the chicken with. We don't want to keep those burnt bits of onion in our rice. So I'm gonna drain out all the, of course, pepper from the smothered potatoes I made the other day, and just everything that's left in this oil. I'm gonna drain it, and then we'll use the rest of the canola oil to cook the leeks and the sweet onion, all right? Okay, guys, so this is what I was talking about. What I wanted to do is after our chicken was done, you can see all the chickens here. I wanted to drain that oil, right? Because it had all those, bits, and so from the onion soup and the pepper and little piece of potato, whatever I use in the other dish, we definitely want to get that out of there before we put our rice in there. There may be a little bit of specks of pepper, but that's okay. All right, and now we're gonna go in with our onions and our leeks, and this grease is hot. I have a lot of leeks and a lot of onions. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and put all that in there. Ooh, that's hot, Jesus. All right, and remember, you always have to build flavor. I want to add pepper to this. All my seasons are here. This is definitely what my grandma used for her chicken and rice recipe, but I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use the more up-to-date chicken bouillon cubes. So I'll be adding both of these. All right, I'll be adding all that seasoning shortly, but let's just go ahead and take care of this. You're probably going to want to put, I'm going to eyeball it, but maybe, I'm sure her recipe had a lot of pepper because my papa loved pepper. This is what he would do when he would have dinner. When he would eat dinner, this is how much he would put. It would be like this. And I'm talking about his plate. And I guess that's where I got it from, right, babe? I love pepper. And her rice had that pepper taste. You know she used a lot of pepper. So I would say maybe a teaspoon of pepper. All right, we're gonna eyeball that. And we're gonna keep allowing this to cook. Oh my God, it smells good already, y'all. It smells like chicken noodle soup. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and add one of the bouillon cubes. I'm only gonna use one because, like I said, I'm gonna use, I had to go get this. I don't use this kind, but this is what my grandma used. And that's that taste. Like, you're not gonna feel like it's tasting like grandma's rice unless you're using old school bouillon. And anytime you're making, using or cooking, sauteing onions, you always want to add some sort of salt in it because it sort of helps sweat the onions and cook better. I'm gonna go ahead and use this garlic and parsley seasoning. So yeah, you need salt whenever you're cooking onion. It helps sweat the onion and it helps it cook better, you know. And looks like we're almost there. We're almost there with the onions. All right, so just stay with me, guys. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna put the chicken back in. We're going to add our chicken broth, which is here. I'm gonna use about 5 to 6 cups of chicken broth. I'm using the no salt added chicken broth, and we're gonna keep going. So you guys just stay tuned, okay? All right, guys, I did forget to tell you that I am gonna add some garlic. So I have this stir-in paste. It's a garlic paste, so it's just garlic that's been very fine chopped, and then you could just squeeze it in. This is something that you leave in the refrigerator, right? So and all that crispiness is gonna go away now because we're gonna put it with the chicken broth, but that brown flavor, that brown food is just gonna take it to a whole nother level. It's not gonna stay crispy, of course, because we're gonna have it in the chicken broth, but boy, oh boy, did it do its job. So I'm gonna put the 2 breasts in, and I'm trying to put as many thighs as possible. I want to get all these thighs in there. We're gonna, of course, once the chicken is done and tender, we're gonna, of course, take out the bones and shred that chicken. And then we're gonna add the rice. This recipe is super easy, guys. Look at that golden goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, so we got most of it in there. Look at all that juice. That's definitely, can you see that juice? That's definitely going in the pot. You don't get rid of that. No, we're gonna keep all that. Y'all, it smells so good in here. So there's that. I'm gonna get all that juice. Like, why would I get rid of that? Look at all that. Okay. And then we're gonna start pouring in our chicken broth. And I'm gonna use 2 containers of this. You just simply wanna cover the chicken for right now, because you're gonna allow this to cook for like a good 30, 40 minutes. A lot of that broth is gonna cook away, and then you might have to put some more broth in when it's time to actually cook the rice, okay guys? I'm gonna season it too, so we're gonna go into putting all the seasonings that I told you guys I was gonna put in there. I guess I can show everybody. I did say it in the ingredients, but we're gonna go in with a little bit of the onion powder, some smoked paprika. Can you see it, Buka? You can see it, some Famous Dave country roasted chicken seasoning. When I'm saying I'm using all these seasonings, but I'm just using a little bit. It's just making my own. And this here, y'all, is like, if you didn't need none of this or didn't use any of this, but this in the chicken broth, chicken bouillon, and this is everything, y'all. They put Jesus up in here. This is Morton's Nature's seasoning. This stuff is everything on some roasted chicken. Oh! And this is all you need. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and add all these. This definitely, anytime you want to slow cook something, or stew something, you always want to add bay leaf, all right? So that's just another tip from Mama C. Whenever you're stewing something, adding the bay leaf is always going to give it that long stewed, all day cooked flavor. All right, stay tuned. All right, everybody, so what I didn't tell you, I got a little bit of a surprise. So since we're talking about traditions or passing down family recipes, you should make some yourself. So what we're gonna do is do Mama C's biscuits, honey, buttermilk biscuits. Yeah, I want my kids to say, just like I'm saying about Grandma Jessie, I want them to be like, my mama make the best biscuits. You know, like on Martin, my mama biscuits. It's super, super easy, y'all. Y'all follow along with me.
It's nothing, Martin. It's just your mama's raisin butter biscuits. That's all it is.
Not my mama biscuits. Not my mama biscuits, Gina.
That's one of my favorite episodes. So for Mama C buttermilk biscuits, we're gonna use some white lily self-rising flour, buttermilk, salted butter, some salt, heavy whipping cream, some butter shortening, and dark brown sugar. And this is how you're going to prepare your butter. You're going to grate it, ice cold, everything in the refrigerator, and you're going to cube your shortening. Everything has to be ice cold, from the ingredients to all the utensils. Everything has to be ice cold, okay? And I'm also using butter seasoning. Super easy, y'all. Y'all follow along with me, okay? It's really very quick. So the first thing you want to do is everything has to be cold. When I'm telling you everything has to be cold, everything has to be cold. From the bowls, from the utensils, from everything that you're using. When you're making biscuits, cold is key. I literally just took everything out of the refrigerator, okay? Actually, I forgot something. Bear with me, hold it. All right, I am back. I forgot the most important thing, butter. All right, so let's get going. So it's very simple recipe, especially because we're using self-rising flour. You don't have to worry about adding baking soda, baking powder. And this is the best flour, guys. If you want to make some biscuits, I just switched this like maybe a couple years ago to white lily flour. It's supposed to be a light baking flour. It's made with 100% soft wheat flour, all right? So we're gonna start with that. We're gonna get 2 cups of flour. This is cold. Everything was in the refrigerator ice cold, okay? We're going to add our butter. What I did here is I grated my butter so you guys see what that looks like. Instead of just cutting your regular butter with a knife, you just grate it. Get a grater and grate your ice cold frozen butter. And as you guys can see, it is cold. Cold is key. We're gonna also add some shortening. Shortening does something to those biscuits, y'all. And the shortening I'm using is a buttered flavor shortening. All right, and we're gonna start to put all of our dry ingredients in, which is salt. I did a teaspoon of salt, sea salt. We're gonna add sugar. I'm gonna do brown. Some people use sugar. I use brown sugar, and I'm use dark brown sugar. You don't taste the sweet of the brown sugar. It just does something to it. All right. So I'm just using a pastry cutter here, and you want to cut everything. You want to move fast. I mean, if you have to stop and put this in the refrigerator, like if you feel like it's melting, I got all these lights here. I might actually have to stop and put it back in the refrigerator just to make sure everything is cold. Looking really good here. You guys see that there? You're gonna get the little pea texture. See that? It's gonna look like little peas. See? It has to stay cold, ice cold though. All right. Actually, I am gonna take a break. I am gonna do something though. This is something new. I'm trying to for the very first time right here with you guys, because I love buttery biscuits, and that's why I added that butter flavor shortening. I'm gonna do something. I don't know what this is gonna do to my recipe, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all in the comments below after, but I'm gonna add some butter. It's seasoned, butter seasoned, like they would put in popcorn, right? I don't know. I'm gonna try it out. I'm only gonna put a tad bit. It's weird. I don't know, but I just feel like I want to do this. So y'all just go along with me. That's one thing about making your own recipe. You do your own thing, right? You see that, and it's really yellow. Can y'all see that? I'm not even gonna get not even 1/4 of a. Just let me see. Look at that. See that? So that's 1/4 of a teaspoon. We're gonna add that in there too. All right, that's just gonna intensify that butter flavor. Hopefully it turns out good. It'll be real good on my popcorn. All right, so that's actually too much time. I stopped. So I'm gonna drop this in the refrigerator, and then we're gonna come back and add all the wet ingredients, okay? All right, guys, so we did take out the dry ingredients. We gave it a little bit more time in the refrigerator to make sure it's cold, about 10-15 minutes. That. So now we're gonna put in the wet ingredients, and we are gonna do we did a whale here. Can you see the whale back? Yeah, like that. Can you see it though? Okay, so we have the whale here, and we're gonna do is add all of our wet ingredients, which is gonna be a cup of buttermilk. All right, I'm gonna put almost all of it just to be safe. Not gonna put it all. So then we're gonna add some heavy whipping cream, and that's about 1/4 of heavy whipping. We definitely want to make sure we have the right consistency for our biscuits, right? So we're gonna just mix it little by little. You do not want to over mix your biscuits. So I'm just using my spatula here and just folding it into each other. It's gonna be a really sticky, wet dough. All right, just keep mixing. You want to keep going, and I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of the buttermilk because we definitely need it. All right, I'm going to keep turning, and as you can see, it is starting to turn into a dough. Sticky dough. You don't want to mix this too much. This is the heavy whipping cream right there. You just want to make sure there's no dry patches, that's all. And then we're going to turn it over on some parchment paper. I'm going to sit that there for right now. Move everything out the way. We want to move very quickly here. I need some flour, so let me get some really quick. So what we're going to do is turn this over into the flour there. Very wet, very sticky. Set that to the side. And we're going to use this parchment paper so I don't get my hands all dirty. And remember, I always got to have some flour right next to you. And you got to make sure there's flour everywhere on this parchment paper. I should have told you guys that. I'm going to end up having to touch this dough anyway, guys. But this trick I'm just using so I don't have to touch it right away while it's so wet and sticky like this. You can use your parchment paper to fold it. All right, guys, I should have had me a bowl of flour for this. So I got my bowl of flour, and my biscuit cutter is sitting here next to it because you're going to need that when you make your biscuit. This technique to use with the parchment paper, you have to have flour. So I'm creating layers here, and you use a paper to fold it. So you try not to get as dirty as possible, but as you see, I'm getting dirty anyway. Just a little. You don't want to over flour it, but just a little. When it starts to stick. All right. And then we want to fold it another way. And get a little bit of time to see how much flour I'm getting, guys. Just enough flour just to bring this over. See that? I'm going to take that and bring that over here. And I folded, what, 4 or 5 times now. So I'm going to fold it one more time. All right. And then I should be able to fold it without the parchment here. All right. There we go. So we're going to have some great layers in our biscuit. Now we're going to use this wax paper here to flatten it out so I don't have to use my hands. And you got to move fast, guys, because you don't want your biscuits to get warm. It has to stay cold. All right, so let's start cutting out those biscuits. You got to move this fast. This was cold too. I have this in the refrigerator. You want to go straight down and pop them up. You don't want to twist. Just go straight down.
And you're going to see them layers. Look at them layers.
All right. I'm going to just go ahead and cut, all right? So stay tuned. And because there's a lot of lights in here, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the refrigerator and make sure it's cold before I bake them. I'm actually gonna leave it in the refrigerator until I'm ready to bake them because I'm gonna wait for the rice and chicken to be done, okay? So we're gonna put these in the refrigerator and let them get cool, okay? You see them, they're so pretty. All right. All right, guys, the chicken is looking really good and it's smelling really good. Come on, let's see. So this is what it should look like. See all that? I mean, the chicken is still brown. And it tastes like heaven. Oh my God, I just had me a taste of it. I have to taste it. You have to taste your food as you're cooking it. But the leeks are all just melted away. And the onions, I got my 2 bay leaves in there somewhere. I'm gonna have to push them out real soon. The chicken is getting really tender. Let's see if it'll come apart. It's not quite coming apart yet, so I'm gonna cook it a little bit longer. It's been about 25 minutes, so maybe another 10 minutes, and then we'll be done with this. But for right now, we're gonna take a break from this. I'm gonna let this keep cooking. And we're gonna go to a special treat, guys. I didn't tell you earlier, but we're gonna do something special. This one is dedicated to my grandpa, y'all. So who wants a milkshake? A Chip Ahoy milkshake. Wow, let's get her done. To make this milkshake, you're gonna need some vanilla ice cream, some Hershey chocolate syrup, a whole cup of whole milk, chocolate chips for decoration, and of course, Chip Ahoy cookies, baby. Any type will do. You're gonna need some milkshake straws. I have 2 varieties here, and some glasses for your milkshake. So this one is dedicated to my grandpa. My grandpa loved Chip Ahoy cookies, y'all. I mean, loved. There was always 2 items that would be in the house every time you would go over to Grandma Papa's house. On the microwave, in the back by the kitchen, you're gonna see a pack of Chip Ahoy cookies and some bananas. And I don't always have Chip Ahoy. I like Chip Ahoy, but it's not my favorite cookie. But I always have bananas in the house. So actually stay tuned because I'm gonna be doing something with some bananas. Actually, I got some bananas right here. They're getting ripe for me, so I'm gonna be making something really soon, all right? And the reason why I'm doing a milkshake is, y'all, I'll never forget there was one time, it was after a prayer meeting or a district meeting or something, Papa would always take us to White Castle. That was just the place to go, all right? And I just had the nerve. Y'all know Papa was very tight with his mic. Like, I never forget when we were little, he used to have all the kids around and he would put quarters in his hand and he would hold them like real tight. I mean tight, like it looked like his fingers are, he cutting himself with his nails. And he would hold it so tight, y'all. And it would be like 10 of us trying to get this quarters out of his hand. And we never could. I mean, we'd be pulling off one finger, we pull off that finger, he'd put the other finger back. If y'all remember that, comment below. But yeah, he would crack up laughing. I'm like, eventually he gonna give us a quarter or something. No, he never gave us a quarter. If we did not get that quarter out of his hand, we was not getting them quarters. But there was this one day, we went to White Castle. I'm saying, I'm gonna get the nerves of Axe. They was advertising like the White Castle milkshakes, the chocolate milkshakes, which are everything. And I was just like, oh, I'm gonna ask him, because you know he would usually get us our White Castles and we'd be happy. And now we get this day, I was like, I'm gonna ask him. And I wasn't afraid to ask Papa, but I was afraid to ask Papa in front of Grandma. But I was like, Papa, can I get a chocolate milkshake instead of the White Castles? And Grandma like sort of looked at him, and nobody said nothing. And I just left it alone. And then when we got to the window, he was like, he ordered all the White Castles, and Grandma, reached over and screamed what she wanted. And then at the end, Papa was like, chocolate milkshake. So that's what we're doing this for, the milkshake that he let me get, and I never asked again. It was so good. The recipe is gonna call for 6 Chip Ahoy cookies, cup of whole milk, 3 scoops of vanilla ice cream. So there's our 3 scoops of ice cream. And then we're gonna put the lid on here. It's as simple as that. If you wanted to, you can add some like chocolate syrup here too. But I'm gonna put syrup in my, oh, okay. Do what you wanna do. So it came on by itself, y'all. All right, done. So these are the glasses here. So I got these big giant milkshake straws here, and I have these straws here. They're like reusable straws. So what we're gonna do is you wanna get your glass, and you wanna put some chocolate syrup. Just make it pretty. Just go up and down the glass like that. You see that? I'm gonna do both, and you just go up and down. Go up and down, like that. You see that? And I'm using the Hershey Sunday Dream. So it's a thick and double chocolate syrup. And we're gonna pour it in. Oh yeah, that looks good. Yes. Chip Ahoy Milkshake. Oh, just enough for 2, babe. So this recipe calls for 2 milkshakes, I guess. Yeah. And I'm gonna go in with the whipped cream. These are the soft Chip Ahoys with the brownie in the inside, like that. And then we're gonna take some chocolate chips here for decorations. Look at that. So I'll do the reusable straw on mine, which is here. Look at that. And then I'll give Isaac the jumbo one. And we'll see which one sucks better. Bam. All right. Y'all see that, right? So this one's dedicated to Paw Paw. Chip Ahoy Milkshakes. Yum. Hey babies, we're getting closer. You can see I took out all the chicken, all that wonderful goodness, golden, bubbling, yummy goodness there in the pot. So I took all the chicken out and I placed it here. I'll place the chicken here. I shred it as much as I can. You know, for texture, we got some that's shredded really, really good. And then some that are big chunks. I hope I get that one. That's why I did the breast. I'm a white meat girl. And then, so what I'm gonna do is go ahead and add my rice. So my rice is here. We're gonna go with 2.5 cups of rice. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some chicken broth back in the pan and bring that to a boil. We're gonna add the rice and we're gonna add the chicken now. And once it starts to boil, we're gonna add the rice. And then after the rice is done, the last thing we need to do is go ahead and add our cream of mushroom and cream of chicken. What I do is do half of that, right? All right, so we did take the biscuits out of the refrigerator and they're nice and cold. Everything has to be very cold because you want the butter to be very cold, because when you put that butter in a very hot oven, the oven's gonna be at 475. We're gonna cook it really fast, 475, quick, maybe 8 to 10 minutes. You're gonna have to watch it. When that cold butter hits that hot oven, it's just gonna pow, it's gonna burst. It's gonna help those biscuits rise, and then all that butter is gonna start to go through the biscuits very slowly and make it very flavorful and fluffy and soft, all right? You can actually brush your biscuits with like milk or eggs, but why not use mayonnaise, right? Mayonnaise has both of those in there. So that's what I did here. And I'm using the mayonnaise that I had, which is avocado mayonnaise. I'm almost done here. You just wanna brush it all over the biscuits here. And of course the mayonnaise is really icy cold too, so that helps. And we're all done. So we're gonna just take this biscuits and put them in the oven. We'll be almost done, guys. We'll be able to plate the food real soon, okay? Stay tuned. Oh yes, Mama can throw down, honey, making her homemade biscuits, honey. My kids gonna say, I love my mama biscuits. After we bake these, oh, it's gonna be so fluffy. Then we're gonna put butter in them, right out the oven. So you can keep these in the refrigerator if you like. You can actually, at this step, you can put them in the refrigerator, put them in a bag, put them in the freezer. You can keep them for dinner, for lunch, for breakfast. You can even make this for dessert, like a strawberry shortcake. So yeah, stay tuned. I'll put these in the oven. We'll be right back, all right? All done. All right, everybody, we're all set. Everything is done. Grandma Jessie's chicken and rice, y'all. I wish y'all could smell. I wish you guys can smell what it smells like right now. And then Mama C's homemade buttermilk biscuits. Oh, when I tell y'all that butter flavoring, that popcorn butter flavoring, do it. You can taste it. It's so buttery. So when you cut the butter, I use 8 of those. But if you want it to rise even more, just use 6. I use 8 because I like my biscuits to be buttery and I like them to melt in your mouth. So the more butter you have, the more crumb, and not crummy, but it'll break apart. So the biscuit is really moist, and that's the kind of biscuit I love. I think I'm gonna go for the biscuit first. You guys wanna do that with me? Let's go with the biscuit. Oh, it's still hot. And you can see, actually I'll break it this way so you guys can see how, look at that. That's what all that butter does. Woo, woo, woo. It makes it, I don't wanna say more crummy, but it's like more, like it bounces back. It's like really moist. Fluffy and moist. You see that? Oh, it's still hot. Can you zoom in a bit? Oh, it's hot. You can see that? And see the crumb there? And it's like, it's almost like it's, if you put your, see that? Finger in there. It's so moist because I added the extra 2 pats of butter in the batter or the dough. So I'm gonna get some butter here. Oh my goodness, like better than Popeyes, better than Cracker Barrel. Oh, look at that. Let's go ahead, let's try this biscuit. Okay. Oh my goodness. It's buttery, a little bit salty, but not too salty because we added that brown sugar. And then you could taste that butter seasoning. It's like, what is that? It's like, what is that in there? It's popcorn butter seasoning. It's so good. I'm telling y'all, try that. Oh. I'm so good. The best. Look at the best. Oh my God, my God. Ew. Have your way in this place, Jesus. Have your way in this place. That's a good biscuit. All right, and then we're gonna go into the rice. Oh. So the biscuits are gonna be my tradition that I want to pass down to my children, and this is the tradition or the recipe passed down to Grandma Jessie. Y'all, it's so good. And you see, I'm gonna show y'all. I got my big pieces of meat here, my white, right there at the top. I love dishes like this, that one pot dish. And we're gonna be able to eat, you see how big that pot is? Like, we're gonna be able to eat this for like 2 or 3 days. But here we go. Y'all, it tastes like Jessie. If Jessie tasted, if there was a taste of Sister Jessie, Mother Jessie, this would taste like. Oh my goodness, you taste all the chicken bouillon. You taste the garlic, the leek. I mean, the leek just melted away. I don't even see the leek anymore. So you can definitely use that leek, guys. Nobody will even know. The sweet onion and leek, I don't even see it in the dish. It completely melted away in this dish, but you taste it. Look at all that meat. I love to do the meat in different, when I pull it apart with the fork, I'll pull some apart where it's little like that, and then I'll leave some big pieces like that. It's so good. It's hot. I taste the pepper. You gotta have. Yes, Lord. Woo. Yes, Lord. My God, my God, my God, my God. Yes, Lord. Woo. Y'all, this is good. It is not just because of the rice and chicken. You've just been good to me. Just think of the goodness. Just think of the goodness. Oh my God. Ah. Yes, God. Yes, God. Woo. Won't he do it? Yes, he will. Y'all, try this recipe. Let me know what you think. I'm going in. I'm going in. Go in with me. Come with me. The my mama biscuits. The my mama say biscuits. Woo 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 woo. Woo 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 woo. Okay. Give me a minute. That is so good. Oh, I forgot to make my plate pretty. I'm sorry. Babe, could you zoom in so I can make my plate pretty? See, I didn't even take a picture. I need to do a still picture. Let's go back. And I didn't do a thumbnail. All right, so let's have this big biscuit I ate behind the biscuit basket. All right, we're gonna zoom in, babe, so you can do a thumbnail, because I never did one because I was being greedy. All right, we're gonna put a little bit of the fresh parsley on here. I'll do both of these. All right, y'all just bear with me. I gotta do my thumbnail. All right, let's try this milkshake. It's good, y'all. It's so good. All right, guys. If no one's told you, Mama Chocolate love you. Continue to soar past the birds, the planes, and the rockets. You already know, heaven bound. Oh yes, Mama can throw down. All right, guys. I'll see you next time. don't forget to hit notifications so you'll know when the next video comes, all right? I just might eat another one of these biscuits. I just might. No, I know for sure I'm gonna eat another one of those biscuits. Bye, ciao bella.
You wanna like it, comment and subscribe. You wanna like it,